I was asked by Rabbi Gottlieb to coordinate Tova Rosenberg's project here on Names Not Numbers. And so I gladly, since I have a tremendous interest in the Shoah and preservation of the history of the Shoah, especially to young people, I felt that was, something I really wanted to do. So I basically, make sure everything is running smoothly, and make sure that the students know about all their responsibilities in terms of all the meetings that they go to, who the survivor is going to be, get the research about the survivor, be able to contact the survivor. Also, a very important role is talking about the Holocaust to these students. I give at least 3 or 4 lessons. It's very, very abbreviated, but the essence of the origins of anti-Semitism, how could this all be possible? So you have to give a little bit of background in German history of what led up to the Nazi period. Also, the history of anti-Semitism, the different types of anti-Semitism, and how this all came together. And so basically that's the teacher role, and also coordinating all the activities that Tova wants us to do in these kids, interviewing their survivors and then finally making their own film. And the rest. I've been here for, this is my 23rd year, and I'm chair of the history department. And I teach American history, actually. When I first came here, I taught also European history. But for almost the most of my tenure here, I've been teaching juniors and seniors American history. So that's basically what I've been doing. They're more impressionable. They're more sensitive at a younger age. They're by the time they're in college, they're still extremely curious, but already they have some formed opinions already.
Who's they?
I'm going to tell the college students. When they're in high school, they think they have opinions, and they do have opinions, but it seems to me that they're more open. They're not as set in their ways as college students, and so therefore, when you're teaching them about the Holocaust, you have to keep that in mind. They've heard stories about the Holocaust, and they know about, they don't know too much about the Holocaust. The other thing is when you teach in college, I think they're a little bit more knowledgeable about the Holocaust. When you're teaching high school, you think they might know about the Holocaust, but many of them really don't know that much about the Holocaust. So I think that's a big difference. I do think that, especially teaching in a Jewish school, in a yeshiva, that as opposed to teaching, let's say, in a college, and I'm not talking about YU, I'm talking about a secular college, I think that the kids need to understand this whole issue of, who were the people who were persecuted, and certainly the Jews are a great number of them. But when you talk about political dissidents, people handicapped, people who were homosexuals, Catholics, people who were quote-unquote undesirables, and they were persecuted as well. Jewish students don't want to really, they know about that, but they don't want to really talk that much about it because, and I think this is not only with Jewish students, I think this is throughout the entire community, they feel that you are putting too little emphasis on the Jewish aspect of the Holocaust. Now, proportionally, of course, the Jews suffered more than any other people, and that's very clear. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about the tremendous persecution of other people as well. Also, I found that a lot of the students are really surprised to hear that the majority of the Jews, even though a great many of the Jews actually died in the camps, a great number of the Jews died outside the camps because of the Holocaust. The stereotype is that everybody died in, where's gas, that all the Jews were gassed and they all died in Auschwitz, or they died in Treblinka or some of the death camps. And so they're a little bit surprised when you hear about the mortality rates and how many people died in ghettos, how many people were shot, and the execution of people who were just shot in the street. I mean, hundreds of thousands of Jews were shot. And students are a little bit taken aback and say, oh, we thought that they all died in the gas chambers. So that's something that's comes up often. I don't know. I think it's just the popular, for lack of a better expression, a popular image that they have from movies or TV or what has just been generated throughout the years, that all the Jews died in the gas chambers. And that's the common, I think that's the image that one gets. Not only among the Jewish, but among the Gentile community as well. I mean, that's, if kids are, are shocked to find out that, we thought that almost all the Jews died in gas chambers or something like that. I think that it's I think it's something we need to educate them about, give them the true picture of what happened. I think that, if it's done in a proper, sensitive way, I think that you can start teaching these kids at least middle school kids, starting in middle school if you do it in the proper way. Now there are things that are like what we would call overload. For example, I had a perfect example of this when I was in Berlin, and we were talking about future programs, and we were talking about film. Because I think film has done a pretty good job in portraying the Holocaust. There's some very good films on the Holocaust, and then some very bad films on the Holocaust. But the film that I really, really think is a very, very good film is Sophie's Choice. And we talked about, probably maybe showing Sophie's Choice. And my German colleague said, fantastic film. I think the kids will be, it's too much for the kids. And these were high school kids. These were German high school kids, 17, 18 years old. And he said, I think it's a little bit too much for our kids. So that was interesting.
I have not seen that film, but what's too much? What is?
Well, I think it's the anguish of this woman is just extraordinary, and and also, well, I don't want to, what is her choice? I don't want to ruin the film for you, but that is what is so. It's just devastating to find out what really is the choice. And that's devastating.